Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever heard the term shamanic illness, but it really resonates for me. It's anchored in the idea that life happens for us, not to us.
Mm.
And in different cultures, there were traditionally individuals that would have these mysterious illnesses and weren't able to participate in the life of the tribe or what have you. And it was because they were called to connect with deeper aspects of reality. And
Mm.
what you're describing, it sounds like, is a calling, an awakening to, first of all, connect with your interiors,
Mm.
right? And the interior aspect of our experience. We were talking about materialism in um, our previous exchange, and we we are steeped in this paradigm that says that the only thing that exists is what is visible and measurable outside of ourselves. And sometimes it takes something tough to shake us out of that and um, and lead us to this other half of of experience, right? To the other half of reality, right? What is within and not just what is outside. And so I always had a very rich kind of inner world, inner landscape, but I was taught that it was to be suppressed and that I had to look away and that I had to um, just function in in the world in a way that looked normal and looked, you know, acceptable and would conform to expectations. And so with my illness, I was forced in a way to step into my strengths, which are really related to this inner landscape, right? And and so you know there are different ways of knowing, right? We can know something because we learn it from a book, we learn it from a teacher, we learn it from the outside. But there's also a knowing that is internal. And there is something that my teacher, John Churchill, calls, let's see if I can get this right, valid yogic non conceptual cognition. Okay. So uh, basically, downloads, right? Basically, connecting with something larger,
Mm.
right? That shows us the way. And yes, I read some books and yes, I had some teachers, but the things that I managed to understand about the body and about the flow of energy in the body and how our awareness can govern the flow of energy in the body and how anatomy perpetuates patterns of flow of energy in the body, how uh, our trauma, right, the trauma that we carry within psychologically fragments our nervous system in a way that is reflected physically in our flesh, right? Um, that full picture really came to me by looking within, by investigating my inner experience, and by extension, by connecting with the broader field of consciousness that we share. And I know this might sound really woo-woo to some, and you don't have to buy into the metaphysical kind of aspects of this. The basic idea is that there's, as you were saying, a whole universe to discover within. And it can be hard when it emerges all at once, right? When things kind of start bubbling up from below the line of conscious awareness because they want to be processed and want to be felt and want to be loved. That process can be tough, but it's an incredible gift. And it's the only way to really grow into who we are meant to be, right? It's the only path to true individuation, for our soul to really be more and more in the driver's seat. And so, I say this to clients often, and initially they get mad at me, but then they come around and they say, oh, you know what, you were right. um, uh, this is a gift if you choose to look at it as such. If you ask yourself, how can I grow from this,
Yeah.
as opposed to why is this happening to me?